I'm just gonna, well, okay, hit record. Sweet. Hi, everyone. I do have slides, so I'm gonna start with that. But before we get started, I just want to know if anyone has a win or something they want to share. I just love hearing from everyone else. So feel free to unmute yourself if you want, or you can type in the chat box. But I would just love to know the $20 off, like how that's going, anything. Really, it doesn't even have to be about business. It could be about anything in life. And if not, that's fine too. I will just start screen sharing. Let me actually just, okay, also, so this is something we've never done. I messaged Gabby today. I was like, hey, do I want to do slides? Like, what are we talking, like, what are we thinking? She's like, what about like, how, like, you know, what, when you're like, what to do when Emerald? I was like, oh, that's such a great idea. So I wasn't gonna make slides, but I did. I last minute just whipped these up. And I think I can now share my screen with them. Okay, can you guys see this? How does it look if I do this? Can you guys see that? I don't know, I literally have never done a presentation, I don't think, in Canva before. Shows how much Gabby always does the slides. Okay. You're good. Okay, yeah, so type in the chat box, like, please talk. I really want this to be an interactive call. If you're watching the replay, watch until the very end. And also, again, if you have questions or something arises, reach out to one of us. We're more than happy to answer things. Okay, just wanted to talk about a few announcements for those of you who don't know. New coach promo codes through the end of the year. So any new coach that you help will get 3 promo codes for the month that they signed up. And this is happening till the end of the year. The peppermint mocha, make sure that you are getting a box of that, trying it, talking about it, and it doesn't taste like mocha-y. People have been saying that they haven't wanted to get it because they're not a huge mocha person, which I totally get. I'm not either, but it's not super coffee mocha-y. It's like mocha is just a chocolate that they use in coffee. Okay. Also, this month's challenge packs, everything's $20 off if it is over $150. So not completion packs, but everything else. And say that you are offering $20 off. Yes, it's Beachbody, but you really are, and they're buying into you. And we're going to talk more about that. The bar program and the vegan beach bars are also coming out and launching on December 3rd. So start talking about that now, making graphics, things like that, and just sharing about that. Okay, so today we are just going to talk about, I just wanted to kind of map through things we're talking about. So business and personal development daily, acting like the leader that you want to be, business activity tracker, business baseline minimums, confidence muscle, and lead with differences. And I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I just took a guide culture course and finished, and it's something I'm going to be talking about forever. And I really want something that I'm going to be talking about tonight is leading with differences. And I'm really excited about it. But business and personal development is where I wanted to start talking about. I do have notes. So if you see me looking down, I'm not looking down for no reason. I'm looking down because I want to make sure that I talk about everything. So we wanted to touch on Build to Last. If you have not read it, I encourage you to sit down and read it, highlighting, taking notes. Don't just listen to it audibly. This is something I'm personally am going to get better at. As a mom, it can be hard to find the time to sit down and read. So Audible is my go-to because I want to do something over nothing. But something I want to get better at is sitting down and writing. So if there's one place I encourage you to start, it's here. Everyone should be or have read this book and have sat down and taken notes. I heard today actually that CEOs read 60 books a year if they are a CEO. And I don't think people just start reading 60 books a year. That's with consistent effort and time and wanting to grow and having that growth mindset. That doesn't just come. And I'm not saying that that's every CEO. I'm sure there are some CEOs that don't, but successful CEOs and ones that want to grow and have those leadership skills for their employees and the people that they're mentoring. Yeah, 60 books a year. So next time you think about that, like, I mean, I'm so bad at math. What is that? 60 divided by 12? 5 books a month. Did someone write it? 5. Okay, yeah. So 5 books a month. And again, the reason why I'm saying personal and business is because there's a difference. Business development is going to help with your leadership skills. It's going to help with your sales and confidence and so forth. Personal development is more things that you're going through emotionally, socially, mentally, in your mind, like things that you need to work on from childhood, past traumas, things like that. So there is a difference. So I want to make sure that you're doing both. And some months, maybe business development is like a little bit higher on the spectrum and you don't read as much, personal development or vice versa, right? So you have to evaluate what this, we're always talking about evaluating that season that you're in. Actually, that's something I didn't share. As a leader, you're always needing to reevaluate the season you're in, where you're at, what you're able to do now, where you're able to kind of push yourself and stretch yourself. Okay, act like the leader you want to be. So I thought it would be a great way of just having simple steps. So these 3 things are really important to create that leadership style mentor. So you will be encouraging your coaches and your leaders to do these things daily to be the leader that you want to be. So check your back office daily. Every single day, going into your back office, looking at your volume, seeing where things are, even if you don't really know what that means or what that looks like, just get in the habit of going into your back office daily. Do you have checking your customer leads? Even if you don't qualify for customer leads, start thinking like that and you're going to start qualifying for customer leads. Like an affirmation I've been writing lately is I am worthy of success, because I think sometimes we can be afraid of having success, and it's crazy what happens when you put things out there, but people have been lately reaching out to me like, oh, my friend sent me to you, or this and that. So, when you start putting these things out there, that's going to come. So that's why we want you to start treating this like leader you want to be. Have your system, whether that's pen and paper now, and then you're going to on the verge of streak or wanting to get to know how to do streak, whether that's you want to just jump right into streak, whatever that system looks like for you, figure out what that's going to mean for you and treat it like $1 million business. You're going to get paid like $1 million business. I know we all invested $40 or $140, most of us $140 to get started. And that is awesome. And it's so great that we were able to start a business like that. But I think sometimes we tend to treat it like that when we should be treating it like what I was just talking about, the $1 million business, because that is eventually where we're going to, right? We all deserve that. Okay. Business activity tracker. If you were in the Sprint to Sparkle group, this is something we were really consistent about, something that I realized I was lacking and had really been helpful for me in the month of October. Even though I didn't hit my goal the second time in 6 years, it helped me realize and understand where I was falling short and where I needed to step up my game. So we wanted to show you the 3 different options that you can choose from. So there's this one that was provided by Beachbody. It is so helpful. You can actually now just pull it up on your computer and automatically check it off. So I love doing that when you're going through things. And then there is this one. So this is basically what you want to do. So your fitness invites daily life on your Instagram story. So if you need more help and more guidance on what to share on your Instagram stories daily and things like that, this would be a really great one for you. And then this one is a new one that Alexis just shared. She just actually created this and created it in the community creators page, but this is the Facebook Network Power Hour. So if you're wanting to do more on Facebook and connect with people on Facebook, this is a great option for you. Okay, so these are your business baseline minimums, and Gabby talked about this on the team call last week, but I really wanted to touch base more on this, and I kind of edited this tracker around here, so you figuring out what this looks like for you when life happens. This is something that when I was going through my divorce was super helpful, because I felt super overwhelmed as a soon-to-be new mom of 2, figuring out what I was supposed to be doing, and having 3 things to focus on daily, just every single day, knowing that that was my baseline minimum of pushing myself forward in life in general. That's what has helped me. So I want you to know, if you don't already, what your baseline minimums are for your life and your business when life happens, when seasons happen, that you will consistently do. And in Atomic Habits, like he talks about, the never miss two. It's okay to miss one day, but don't miss 2 days in a row. Okay. So he really talks about staying consistent. Like, I get it. Like, life happens sometimes, right? Like, I'm human. We're all human. But he talks a lot about making sure you're not missing 2 days in a row and staying consistent with that. Is this making sense so far? I hope this has been helpful. Okay. Confidence muscle. So this is something that is learned over time, grown over time, just like a regular muscle. Any muscle takes time to grow. Something that we talked a lot about in guide culture is knowing and being confident in stories that you should know. So the main stories that you should know is, one, your story. You should 100% know your story, why you got started with Beachbody, your journey, your pain points, who you're talking to, who you're targeting, and your niche. The story of Beachbody, how we started out as infomercials, how we've grown, how Isabel Deichler was super sick, and the reason why Shakeology was created. All these things are going to help you feel more confident when you're in your conversations and talking to people behind the scenes. And then studying the product. So there's over 70 superfoods in Shakeology. Do you know about every single one? I highly doubt it. Right? So there's so many things that you could be studying and knowing. And I look at it as getting my master's in Beachbody, getting your master's in Beachbody, knowing, like, if you were to go and work for another person or another CEO and they put a book in front of you and said, hey, you have to study this to be here and work at our work, would you do it? Would you sit and study the book? Because you had to. What if a customer came in and asked you a question and you didn't know? What would your boss say to you? So you really have to think about what, like, this is for you. This is like and I just want you to understand that by doing this, you're just doing yourself a really good thing and a really good favor by having that confidence. So if you're not familiar with this stuff, that's okay. Just write down what you want to get more familiar with. And I just am hopeful that after this call, you can kind of gauge where you want to gain more confidence and where maybe you're lacking in your business that you want to up. And 2020 is coming. Don't wait for 2020, but just know where you want to go from here. Okay, so you taking action on what you learned firsthand will be the only way to handle these objections with confidence. That was a typo. You taking action and doing these things is the only way that you're going to learn. I can sit here, we can sit here, and we can watch all the videos and all the trainings. But in guide culture, they talked about this and about how you knowing your story and your product and having that confidence is really the only way that you're going to be able to handle these objections. So by doing it and by getting into these objections, I'll share it in a minute. I shared with Gabby, they have a whole book or a whole thing on handling objections. And I wanted to read one and how they handle objections. And I just messaged Gabby and said, I think I should do a call about this because it'd be really helpful. So each time you're making a post, this is from Guide Culture as well, I want you to ask yourself these questions, okay? Am I inspiring, educating, or entertaining? Gosh, so many typos, sorry guys. Entertaining. Wow. That was like me going real quick with these. Okay. And then also leading with your differences. So obviously, I'll just be honest. After guide culture, I realized I've been doing a lot of talking about myself, which is great. Like, I want people to know how this has helped me, but I also want them to know how this has helped them and how it's going to be of a service to them. And the only way that they're going to know it is if I tell them how it's going to be of service to them. So if you're not doing one of these three things, I would just encourage you maybe not to post at that moment and to come back and think about deeper what that post means to you and what it's going to mean to them, and switch it and turn it around and talk more into the third person. Okay, so then leading with your differences. So this is another thing we talked about. So in a, we're all doing the same things, right? Working out daily, drinking your energized, recover, right? And people are like, oh, like it could be saturated, yada yada. So while I understand that, it's maybe because you're like you're doing similar things to other people. So what we want to focus on is our differences. So what besides loving to work out, things like that, are different? Maybe you don't love to work out. Maybe working out was never a thing for you and you hated it, but now you do it because you feel better. That's a difference. You didn't love working out, okay? For me, like I'm a blended family, chronic stomach aches, and drinking Energize helps me not have those stomach aches. Obsessed with my mindset. I was not someone like that, and I was notorious for just going and being a pessimist. So talking about that. I love hair and makeup. I love cute, comfy, active fashion wear. I love talking about injury prevention because I struggled with having back things, and I'm a 3-foot firm. So I want you to also think about what are the similarities that we have, which are all like right here, and what are your differences, and focus on those differences and talking to people and sharing the emotional pinpoints for them. Because really at the end of the day, we just want to connect with other people's emotions by telling and sharing stories and sharing third-party stories. You talked to someone the other day, like I said, I just shared a story of me hearing that CEOs read 60 books in a year, and that, I don't know, resonated with me. Maybe it resonated with you. And so I just want you to realize how sharing stories like that really helps people see the benefit and the value. Okay. So one more thing before I get into questions that I wanted to share is handling objections. And I think that doing an objection call would be helpful. So again, I invested in this guide culture training. This is my second time taking it, which has been very helpful. And there are certain ways to handle objections. So I am going to share how you would admit that it does cost a lot of money and how you would handle that objection, because I think that money, it can be, I'm just curious, is money an objection that you guys get often? Like raise of hands or not, or in the chat box. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think I can afford your superfoods is the doubt. Okay. And again, like it's all right here because the creator of Guide Culture actually is a coach, a Beachbody coach. So she's super passionate about this stuff. So I don't think I can afford your superfoods. So the cushion would be, I understand that you're concerned with the price. You find a point of agreement. So then I would say, I am very aware of costs when I am making a purchase. And then you ask why. And then I would say, what makes you feel that way? Then I would let them answer. Okay. And this is how you handle it, by admitting it. I admit it, this program does carry a monthly commitment of $100. Based on what you've told me, you understand that anything worth having is worth paying for. As a matter of fact, someone with your understanding of how the world works knows that for a product to be quality, they have to charge enough to produce it well. I also know that you expect and plan to have such a product in your pantry. In your opinion, if you were to move forward, would you like to sign up now or over lunch? So then that would be the trial close. So then you give them an option. So or you could say, would you want to get started this month or next month? Or would you want to get started with the chocolate superfoods or vanilla superfoods? So I don't know if that was helpful at all, but I have found it to be really helpful to just kind of know how to go through things. And yeah, really just focusing on the business activity tracker every day. One thing I wanted to share too is having an accountability buddy with that. So if you don't have an accountability buddy or a success partner, sending that business activity tracker daily will help you stay consistent. I know it helped me stay consistent. And coaching helps me stay consistent. And that's another thing to share, is just how coaching helps you stay consistent, and breadcrumbing every single day. I have not looked in the chat box, so I can do that now. And if there are any questions, feel free to unmute. Yeah, okay. I hope this was helpful. I feel like I just finished guide culture and like have learned so much. I want to just like spew it all onto you guys, but it would be so overwhelming because it was 4 weeks for me. So, um, yeah, that's, I don't know, Gabby, did you have anything you wanted to add or say?
Honestly, you said everything perfectly, honestly.
Oh, yay, good. Hey,
Yeah.
guide culture paid off. I'm learning how to speak better, guys. 6 years in and I'm still learning, okay? Like, I think that's another thing I want you guys to understand is we're always learning, we're always growing. Like, I want to be better for you guys. Like, you guys inspire me to be better. So,
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I was telling Emma, I was like, not to be mean or bitchy, like whatever. But you know, I think there comes like you need to find a way to stand out on Instagram end of the day. Maybe it might not be your top priority because right now you're just trying to send those invites and, you know, make more connections with women and stuff like that. But guess what? In today's culture, in today's social media, people are going to want to follow you because they want to see how you stand out from other coaches. Am I right or am I right?
mm-hmm.
Why did you follow me? Why did you follow Emma? Did you follow us because we were boring on Instagram? No, right? So, I mean, I honestly like to say that I'm not boring on Instagram. Sometimes I watch people's stories and I'm like, I would never go back to watch their story. And so you really have to just think about how can I maybe sit, what?
No, it was just me. Don't worry.
uh, Maybe sit down with yourself and be like, how can I stand out? Like, what in my life is funny or entertaining, or how can I add value? What are you going through? And Emma, did you mention that talking from third person?
Yeah.
What? You're muted.
Oh, am I?
You were. It muted you again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's my dang AirPods. Um, yeah, I think I mentioned talking in third person, did I?
Sorry, I was probably washing my
No,
face.
so, I mean, I can touch on it a little bit more. I was telling Gabby, so something that I learned is even if you have a story, so like I've been struggling with wanting to share about postpartum depression, but not really wanting to share that it's me because I don't really want people in my DMs right now about it because I'm still working through it. But I've also been talking to other women about it. And so I know there's other people struggling. So instead of sharing that it's me talking about it in the third person, so like the other day I was talking to one of my girls and she was sharing with me how these tools and waking up every single morning has been helping her get out of bed because she's been struggling with postpartum depression. And what this means for you is you're always going to know and be able to count on having the accountability. So like if there's a story you want to share, just switching it to the third person. What?
Exactly. I agree with that because I mean, like you said, talking in third person when you don't want to talk about something, and just saying like my client, like the client is you, right? Like, and I relate to that so much because a lot of the times, you guys, I'll express stuff and then I have people in my DMs and I'm just not mentally in the state to answer those DMs because number one, I'm not a psychologist. You're probably going through the same thing as I am, but I'm not in that mental state to answer how you're feeling. I'm still going through my own shit. But when you talk about it and you're like, I was talking to this client. She was going through some mental health issues and she was reading, I told her to read this book. It's really been helping her or whatever it is. And just talking about it as a third person will really help you maybe get through your own shit and not even realize it and feel better about it and feel better about being authentic, even though you're talking about yourself, you're talking about yourself in third person. But definitely talking about that and share. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, yeah, and talking about that too is, and they'll also more likely commit and save you guys both time because they're hearing an experience not from you. While it's great to share how it's worked for you, hearing from someone else and hearing someone else's story is gonna probably make them actually want to join for themselves because then they're gonna be like, oh, like it's not just helping Emma, it's also helping this other girl that she was just talking to. So like it's more, right? It brings more credibility to your story. And
Yeah.
that's where you want to have that.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, exactly. And like you guys, you're doing daily stuff. Like, I'm sorry, but you're constantly doing stuff during the day. Yeah, you're working, but when you're coming home, are you cooking? Are you sharing that you're cooking? Are you sharing a helpful tip or recipe that you're making for your kids or your family? Is there something that you wanted to share that you saw in the challenge group that was like really awesome? Like you saw this girl posted that, post about it. There's so much that you could post about and so many opportunities for you to share stuff on your social media. And half the time, like you guys, I get on there and I'm like, why am I talking about myself so much? Like this is so boring. No one cares that I'm about to work out. They know I'm going to work out. So half the time I delete it and I'm like, I could post something else that's super helpful. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like when you work out, like why is this helping other people, like other moms or what? So how am I following up, or how are you sending follow-ups? So I'm doing two ways. One, I'm following up with anyone that I've been talking to and being like, hey, you said you wanted to come in the past. Not sure if right now is the best time for you, but I'm actually offering $20 off. Is that something you're interested in? Another way is anyone that has renewal of Beachbody On Demand. I don't know if you have anyone from November. When did you sign up? No. But anyways, and this is just for future too, to think about next year, because I know that they'll do another $20 off. So think about like for this month, next year, letting them know that they can just upgrade for $40. So if you do have anyone renewing this month, just emailing them and say, hey, your yearly subscription to BOD is auto renewing. It's only $40 more this month to upgrade to get a month of Shakeology or a month of Energize and Recover. And actually, if it's also for January, February, they can call Beachbody On Demand or Beachbody, and they'll just extend it the few months if they upgrade this month for the $20 off. So just throw that out there for anyone. Great question. I hope that was helpful. And I would just voice, like I super simply just voice them and be like, hey, like, and most of the time they're still watching my stories, you know? So, and I am doing a collagen giveaway. This is something like side note you can totally do as well on top of the $20 off. I'm also saying anyone that's getting started this month is going to get put into a hat to get a thing of collagen, because it's been helping my eczema and I've been talking about that a lot. So I feel like I have other people. So yeah, and actually, I'm going to share this with you guys. I have a whole PDF, I haven't told anyone, of Macy and like Catherine and all of them on Instagram. So I'll share that PDF with you guys. It's basically how to do more engagement. And Catherine, who is my lab leader, she did the Boss Babe Inc. course on Instagram. You know, that account that like has all those awesome quotes. She did that on how to build her Instagram more. So I'll share that with you guys too, because I think, like I was telling Gabby, I think we're onto something different, and I think that it's important to do and stand out, and I just see big things for us in 2020. So what we're doing right now is going to help us for what's to come.
Good. Awesome. That was so good. That was so good. I'm so glad we did it differently today. So I have a fly in my house if you guys think I'm acting weird.
Did anyone take a picture or anything? If so, tag me, but I'm going to take a boomerang really quick as well. So hold up your wine, Amanda. I saw Amanda over there with her wine. Chipotle. I wish I had some wine. I got like my fifth scoop of Energize right now. So
I just got it literally down my shirt.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Cute. Okay, I hope this was helpful. And if it was, will you go into the team page and just share what your vision is for 2020? It can be super simple, or even your word, if you have a word. Just because I want to start creating more FOMO, and I want people to know what they're missing out on.
Think of your word for 2020, you guys. Like, knowing my word for 2018 changed.
Oh yeah, we should share ours.
Share yours. Okay. So my word for 2018 was worthy. A lot of you know that because I got it tattooed on me. But my word for 2020 is revive, because I totally believe that it's our year for our team to just come up from the trenches and revive up. And for myself personally as well, obviously, I'm reviving into a completely new person. I'm still worthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so share yours.
My word this year is prosper, because I feel like we have done a lot of growing and evolving, and I'm in a new place and space and able to create roots and prosper here. So I love that, Chelsea. Persevere.
And you guys, I printed mine and put it above my what is this called? A computer?
Vision board? Oh, yeah. Amanda, yeah, share your vision board on Instagram and ask people if they create one. That's a great conversation starter. And I always feel like I get a lot of engagement on that, on posts like that. Like, you create a vision board, or people are like, no, what's that? Like, what are goals? What are goals? I don't know. Oh my gosh, my house right now. Balls bouncing off the wall and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Love it. Love your words, guys. About the $40, what's $40 for renewal? Oh, can you explain that?
Oh yeah, so anyone that has got started with Beachbody on Demand, say last year, or maybe even at the beginning of this year, January, February, if they have their 100 being, renewed, you can just follow up with them and say, hey, it's $20 off this month, so it's actually only $40 if you would like to add Shakeology or Beachbody and Energize this month. And then, like I said, with the January, February, it's great. And I didn't even know this. I learned this one of my coaches, Cassie. She said that you can just call Beachbody and they'll extend it 3 more months or however many months they've already paid if they want to upgrade this month, because the $20 off is such a great deal. So, yeah.
So that's like, if you have been a coach for at least a year, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or
can't renew something.
Yes, true. I know, and I realize that, but I never want to assume,
I know. So funny.
So,
well, cool. That was great.
Yay. Okay, and team call tomorrow night, 5:00.
Don't miss it, you guys.
We will be there. Be square.
Yeah. Okay, love you guys.
My AirPods have died. Okay. Bye. Thanks for being on.